there is a monster that comes with being a man that we don't envision ourselves being. Like, we don't give ourselves the opportunity to be like, I think it's easy if you're like, oh, somebody breaking my house, like I'm blasted, right? Like, right? I mean, or you gonna talk it out, or you gonna deter somebody, right? Like, you know that if somebody busts in your house, you're not gonna look at your wife or your kids and be like, hey, you want to go check out what that is? No, like, you don't do that. If you do, and you in here, like, I love you, brother, but I'm judging. Like,
right.
And it's the same thing. It's the same thing of like, we have to want the conflict, because if you don't go into the conflict, you're not protecting anything, which means you don't have a standard, which means there is actually no authority to be undermined.
Thank you. But with that, like,
yeah, go ahead.
So the thing that we actively don't exercise, just men in general over time have like stopped doing this, is that a precursor to conflict is a battle plan.
Right.
Right? Because like what you're experiencing is that you're experiencing the darkness of the conflict. Right? This is your safe space, which means you're away from the darkness. But the true safe space is vision through the conflict.
Thank you.
Right? And vision through the conflict is the ability, which is why I made this book, right? Is the ability to sit down, describe the darkness, and then the hardest thing that every man struggles with is literally paint the solution. Like, what does the path and the future look like where that conflict does not exist? And that's literally what men who are like commanders in the world who go fight wars and have to win, they literally have to sit down in a group, in a huddle, and imagine the light-based version of the outcome and what they're going to have to do, what they're going to have to adjust, what conversations they're going to have, which is why you have, what are the people who mediate between countries? Ambassadors? No, they're not. Is there ambassador?
Yeah,
the embassy.
And then you have negotiators.
Right, but you have ambassadors, which is like the mediation of being able to see through the darkness. Right, and we currently, the hardest thing is that like we currently live in a world where darkness has been normalized. Because you're looking at your phone, you're looking at the past, which is darkness. You're looking at and you're even taught that looking at your present is a form of light, but no, it's darkness because it's happening and it happened. And we're taught to think that talking about the present is a solution, but really it's not. So we spend all this time talking and doing and whatever, feeling like we're creating a path forward, but because we've been so like put to sleep so hard by technology and all these things that we actually don't even recognize that we never talked about the future. Like we never actually talked about the path of the future, the structure of the future, what is the victory, right, which I used to talk about that like 3 years ago. I'm like, men have literally forgotten how to imagine victory, and that is a vision. It's not a goal of like, what am I going to achieve in my business or how I'm going to make money or where I'm going to get. It's literally like, what does you and your wives' victorious future look like, and describe it like a movie. How did you get there? What did it look like? What does it mean? Where are the values? Because you can easily have that conversation with her and disregard the dog, disregard the sister, disregard literally everything because it actually has no value or it doesn't matter in the victorious future. Like it actually, none of that darkness exists. But the energy it requires and the amount of correction, self-correction you as a man have to even like enter the state of victorious imagination, right? And write it out and imagine it and like drive that path is very hard. And you have to have like a brotherhood to correct you because it's so incredibly easy to just start thinking about what's happening or what happened, right? Instead of like think about it, like try to have an hour conversation about only the future and have a few friends there to just actively correct you whenever you're thinking about the present or the past. And it'll be like the hardest thing you've ever done. And grab a piece of paper because unless you're writing the future out, you don't actually know if you're doing the exercise.
Well, that's good. James.
James, let me ask you something. We just read the whole duty of man was. What's the whole duty of man? Fear God.
Fear God.
So you got fear. like you said, it's leadership.
Yeah.
With leadership, sometimes peace, sometimes it's war. Jesus was an austere man. He went to church, flipped over tables, flogging people. He wasn't this nice guy all the time. So I'm saying to you, I've been in that situation. The way you carry that out, bro, that's the last thing you want to do. I did exactly that. More concerned about harboring peace versus providing the leadership for my home that I'm required to do. Sometimes your wife's not gonna like it, bro. Just like sometimes your kids, they don't want. Sometimes they don't want discipline. But as a father, you still got to do it. So in that case, the commandments are you the head of the household. So you go to your wife, you have a conversation with her, you hear her out. Because a part of leadership and part of being married is you got to be able to be corrected by your wife. That's one thing we don't like. We love to tell them what to do. We don't want them to correct us. I'm just saying to you, bro, that peacemaker, that leads to nowhere, dog. Nowhere. If you said that we don't want a dog here, you got to talk to your wife about that. And if she brings a dog, sorry, dog got to go.
And this struggle has gone on ever since I met them.
I don't think that's why, because I was that way.
And
Compromising.
no, at first it was all good. It was me and her, and then we moved to High Point, and then they got this. Well, they've always had it. They have this language that they speak, and sometimes it would be something small as where to eat or what bill to pay first or anything like that. Me and the wife, then it's the wife and the sister. And
Rich gave the answer.
Yeah.
That's the answer. What he said
Yeah.
is the answer.
And you just instead of going backwards and being like that, because I could go backwards with you and say like, well, it didn't actually seem like the sister was an issue. It sounds like you didn't have your authority established. You just didn't have nothing challenging it in some sense. And so like to me that would be a conversation that we would have in the room, just men, to be able to say like as a brotherhood, like, yo, like I think it probably felt good and there was no thing because there was nothing to hit and challenge your authority. I'm sure like kids and blah, 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 different feelings and stuff like that, but to where somebody feels like they could actually do something like that should communicate more to you that you want to have a vision of what does a house look like where everyone's respected and that I'm communicating clearly. Like for instance, even when we said like I have a wife and 4 kids and I said no pets because they have to have jobs. Like it's a joke, but I'm like so serious.
That's your rule.
That's like and I kid you not, there was the cutest cat I've ever seen in my life. I hate cats. I saw this cat, I said, oh my gosh, they named the thing and it was outside and everything, but I had to stand on it. Now, it also helped that it was going to cost like $300 to keep it. That's a strong deterrent, but they don't know that. What they know is I said we don't have pets. Period. If you bring one, that's going to be real sad.
Yeah.
It's going to be a real sad day for you.
Yeah.
So what's the consequence of you pushing back? Like what makes you scared to, like, maybe not scared, but what holds you back from really defining the boundary?
Her distancing herself from me.
Yeah. So I've experienced, exactly.
My wife.
Yeah.
No, my wife.
Which is why the vision aspect, it was like creating a unified vision in that space. Like in these situations where you can't actually lay the law down, which is modern day feminism on a large scale. Right. Like you can't because they'll just leave. It's like, it's either like you figure out a way to mediate or they'll literally just leave. You'll get threatened with being left. Right? Essentially. And you're basically deciding between a dog or your children.
20 years of
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Exactly.
And so that may not be the price you want to pay, nor should it be, but your challenge is how to address the unity between you and your wife. And so these gentlemen are speaking because they've lived it as married people. I have not, so I'm not going to claim as much life experience as they have. But your challenge is, hey, you got a problem with twins. Twins are already going to have their special language and connection and things like that. Your challenge in this situation, nonetheless, be it be it a sister, be it a wife, be it a twin, be a father, having an outside influence on the decisions on the two of you making your household is always going to be a problem. And even if you can't fix this one, this has to be a conversation, I believe, between you and your wife is how do we make decisions together? It cannot be that she reverse engineered a way to get a dog in the house because she wanted one and said, oh, it's a gift from her. That's not how, that breaks down all your unity between the two of you. So you don't want everything to always be a problem, but the issue is less about it being a dog, but it is about the disrespect.
Have
She
you ever
figured
been-
out a way to get her way, and will continue to do that with you unless the two of you can find a reason why the two of you must make these kind of decisions together.
Have you ever written this out?
No.
Okay. So what I would challenge you, it's like a 3-layered on paper vision, right? One is describe what you wish for the relationship to look like. Open-heartedly describe your fear that holds you back from fighting her, and then ask her for help
Can I make it
to solve the problem. To solve it, so
Right.
you're presenting where you want to get, why it matters to you, like why does that vision matter, right? Which is all the reasons that you don't fight her, which is the truth of your heart, because you do care that much, right? That you don't want to challenge, like all the like you know exactly what they are.
Yeah.
Right? And then literally be like, I challenge you to please help me figure this out. Like, make her figure it out.
I want to say something about that.
Thank you.
I got 8 daughters. What is it, 8? 8, 9, right? 10, but yeah, 7, 8. I've dealt with that on a high level, right? Meaning they want this. I know what's best. I have a line that I've drawn from birth to now with my wife. I've been married 16 years with her. What I would say is, because it's a hard place, right? You want your wife happy. You don't want to be, walking around the house and it's this awkwardness thing, right? But here's my life. I don't allow dogs in my home. Right now, my daughter's got 4 dogs in home, so they're trying to get to my home. It's not happening. My wife, they do the end run around me, but guess what? It's not happening. That's my line. So, and it's been that way for years, right? And what my wife has done is gotten mad, pouted, the girls, they do that. But at the end of the day, here's what I've learned. It's almost like, and I don't like to liken adults as children, but I want to use this analogy. When you spank your child, right? What do? You love them, right? But they come right in.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't spank them and you let them run around, they're going to keep doing it. It's going to get worse and worse. It's almost like I tell my wife say, oh, kids, as soon as you say one thing, they stop, they listen. The grandkids, everybody. And I told her, I said, you know why? They don't do that for you because you talk too much. You yelling, and nothing's never changing. You haven't drawn a line and stood on it. When you draw a line and you stand on it, your wife of 20 years, I'm saying she'll understand it when that line is drawn, but because when the goalpost is moved, you move with it. She's never put in a place where she have to say, hey, okay, I need to stop. You understand what I'm saying? And it don't have to be a mean thing. This is what it is. Like one time I came home, I'll give you an example. One time I came home, I tell my dad, when you're drinking, you're not allowed in my house because he talked crazy or whatever, right? I came home one day and my wife had let my dad in. So I come in, he's drunk, he's drinking, he's talking crazy out his head or whatever. You gotta go, right? You have to go. I put my father out my house. And then I talked to my wife about it because I'm sharing. I have a house that ain't no one gonna run with me. Because I have have obligations to safety for the kids, the grandkids, and everybody else in it. So, at the end of the day, what I say has to be adhered to, whether it's my father, whether it's my wife, or whatever, because I have to bear the brunt of if it go wrong.
Russ, can I piggyback off that? Mind if I piggyback off that? Say you Bible, you got a cross on. It's called trimming your ways for love. You get home, go read that. God says, do not trim your ways for love. Don't never do that. Mind you, I'm not innocent. I've done it. So I'm telling you what the book said, and then I'm telling you the outcome that I got when I did follow the book. It's called trimming your ways for love. Don't do that. You know what I mean? And so I get where you're coming from, because I was of that same mindset. I'm telling you, bro, kill that. Kill that. With leadership
Comes hardships,
a whole bunch
the
of
mean guy, but it stabilizes though. It stabilizes everything. In my house, it's stabilized. My daughters know, everybody know, my sons know. There's certain things that you can do in here, and there's certain things that's absolutely you can't do. Because what they say about one bad apple, right?
Small bunch.
And I give you an even greater example. My wife of 16 years, she used to, when we first met, we got married, and she used to get mad, because this is a learned behavior before me, right? Yeah. She would get mad and call her mother, call her sister. And you know what they would do? They would come pick her up, take her to their house. So now we going through this. So one day I said, you know what I do? And I heard her sister like twins, they close. So I said, you know what? All of y'all meet at my house. And I told my mother-in-law, my sister, my brother-in-law, his son. I said, oh, y'all, let me tell y'all something. The very next person that picks her up, because she's throwing a tantrum, keep her. It's not happening. No, do not come over here. Now, if she called you because she's not being abused, she's not being jumped on. She's got a great life, but she's out because it's a learned behavior, and she's not used to dealing with someone that has that line. You see what I'm saying? So she's a single parent. She used to doing things her way or doing however she was doing it. But no, I'm a man's man. I draw a line. I'm going to take care of it. So I told the family, the mama, do her all due respect, my sister-in-law, if you come get her, you don't keep her. Because I'm not. And I said, because she's creating something that we going to go further into the future with. And I'm not doing it. So again, you know what that did? She called, ain't nobody coming to get you. Unless, because they want to know now why we coming to get you. What you got going on.
Yeah. Right.
What you got going on now. It ain't just readily, they coming to get her because she's out. No, y'all work y'all stuff out. You know, I see. So what I'm saying that to you to say, you have to draw a line. And trust me when I tell you, your wife for 20 years love.
She gonna do it. She gonna follow.
But it's almost like if you don't draw a line in the sand, like me. If a dog comes, my daughter's been bringing a dog, they already know what I'm gonna do. The dog got to go. They got to go.
Yeah.
You know, it ain't even a question. The dog got to go and you got to go because there's a disrespect factor now.
What if they're looking for an excuse to go?
Wow.
If you come,
You're feeding into it?
what do you mean?
You're feeding into it?
What do you mean?
Like you said bye, but like, do you have little kids?
What do you mean? If they come, hold on, I want to understand your
Sorry.
question.
No, I'm saying like what if in the conflict, right? They're literally seeking an excuse for the bye.
Well, see the thing about a person,
And there's like children on the line.
but see the thing about a person that wants to leave. If today's excuse don't work, we got another one tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right? True. So if a person that wants to leave, yeah, they gonna if I go for that excuse today, tomorrow's excuse gonna work.
The key word he said is want to.
Yeah, if they want to leave. You
Yeah,
don't
but
have
it's
to,
never,
you don't have to.
it's never that black and white.
No, I
You
know
know
what
what I
you
mean?
mean.
There's like,
Being rebellious.
there's like
Well, you're
that,
talking
they
about
were looking
being
for that
rebellious.
trigger, but it's never like that. It's always like 15 other things
Right,
that have
that be-
accumulated and are manifesting, let's say, like the dog.
Okay,
Because it's
the
not
dog
about
is
the
issue.
dog in the first place.
Right, and the dog is the issue.
No,
Yeah.
that's what he just said. That's what he
Yeah.
just said.
Well, I mean, you're always any adolescents, they're trying to push at the edges all the time.
All the time.
All the time. That's just their job.
Rebellion.
So they're right. So they're
And
going
that
to always
doesn't
test
happen
you.
twice.
They're
When you
always
get
going to
older.
test you, huh?
That happens when you get older too, right?
Well,
It's not like when you go through, like,
Well, I mean,
your
13
life, right?
to 20.
Ain't no sense.
But see, the thing is, if the dog is the issue today about leaving, but really it's 15 other ones before it. And I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
There's a progression to a person wanting to leave. And this is what I'm saying about drawing a line, right? Everyone ain't going to stay. Everyone's not going to stay, right? If your line is pure and righteous, you have to stand on it. And those who aren't pure and righteous going to fall off, and rightfully so. Because it's almost like you have this dog right here, right? Now, if you go get a pit bull that loves to fight, you got a peaceful dog,
Yeah.
right? The dog will fight, I'm sure. It's going to, I mean, self-preservation is going to protect itself. But you don't want your dog every day fighting.
No.
Happen to, or even put in that position. So what would you do? You would remove the pit bull.
I could beat both of them and make them listen.
Or,
Also, how you say that?
Nobody get what you're saying.
You say today's excuse is what? How you say that? That quote you just said?
today excuse is for today, but if you, yeah, there's going to be another one tomorrow if somebody really wants to be. If you can't, you keep bending to the will of the people, because everybody, every one of us in this room wants something our way, right? And it doesn't necessarily fit
The
your
hardest
way
thing,
or your way,
Yeah.
right? So if like my line is draw, right, and it's draw again in righteousness and purpose and direction. That's my line. It's just respect. That's my foundation. So I cannot, under no circumstance, allow that to be crossed or broken for someone else's happiness, because who doesn't have the same direction, right? Or else I'll be viewed as weak. I'm gonna be taken advantage of, and that's more so than not. I'm gonna be compromising all the time.
I want to tell you,
Take you out your element too.
I want to share something with you. Build houses, right?
Well,
Every house has a pillar, or a beam, or a foundation that keeps it up. You know what I'm saying? That's unshakable. You know what I'm saying? That can't really be moved to it. It really can't be moved. I don't care how hard it rains, how hard the wind blows. You got them
but it's
posts.
based,
You got
but
the
it's
posts.
based, but it's based in your foundation.
True.
And your foundation is your line.
True.
But what I really wanted to say is, I got sidetracked with his situation, but I spent years with Calamity, as he stated, and we did this every single day. Like, talked about everything under the sun, sharpened who perspectives, every day. Today, I had been in here 30 minutes, and I gained so much knowledge from just listening, and I wanted to share that because you said something that I had wrong in my life. It's concerning my wife, right? You said men love, women respond to. That is the greatest statement I've ever heard as it relates to relationship and example of why I say that. Since I've been out, all I did, I've taken care of my family tremendously. I got out, trucking company, homes, bars, like I'm just a pure entrepreneur. And I looked at that as leading my family because they never have to worry about nothing. They always have. And that resonated to me because my wife always wants something else. Right? And I never understood that until you made that statement right there, that makes sense. I've always looked at my wife like, you got it made. In 15, 16 years, you never had to work, you never wanted big cars, whatever. But the leadership wasn't simply about the things or the direction. I mean, we did, but I didn't love her. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I didn't show the love. I haven't showed the love that she can respond to. She's moving through life. I mean, she's been moving through life and she know I love her. But that concept makes so much sense to me that I thank you for that.
Amen.
And one more thing too, man, is this is the greatest place that each of us can be, right? Bouncing ideas off of each other, different perspectives, different ideas, you know, even heartfelt things. Because that's what made me who I am, doing that thing, that very same thing. Mm-hmm. Like it's 8 or 9 of us that did that on a daily basis. None of us went back to prison. Mm-hmm. All of us are successful. I mean, you know, in our own right, in the decisions that we made or whatever we chose to go, you know, do in life. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I think that I got away from this because I'm busy. But, you know, I need to get back to this because it's really a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. You know, and if you can bring somebody, because again, perspectives and ideas and, you know, everybody's viewpoint from a different life is one of the greatest things. And I used to tell my wife, in a minute, some of the greatest conversations, some of the greatest times I've had is standing in a circle with them, talking. Mm-hmm. Because it's challenging. Mm-hmm. You know, even in art, sometimes we'll be arguing our point. But guess what? One thing about the truth that we know, it don't need legs to stand on. Mm-hmm. If Commander would tell me something, or you would tell me something, or you would tell me something, and I may not get it in that moment, guess what happens? Because it's the truth, and the truth don't need legs. When I lay down at night, or I get into that quiet place, you know what the truth does, right? It resonates. So that's why this is needed. Like, really, and the more people that you can, you know, have come or ask to come, the better, because every perspective matters.
And I would, if you don't mind, man, I would like to say, man, don't get me wrong, I'm with you on perspective and view. You talking, this your wife, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes perspectives can rival. You made an oath when you married her. And so your constitution is that Bible. That's y'all's constitution. If you allow each person to have their own perspectives, at some point we'll have conflict. So that's why I asked you what was the divine order of the household. Because as long as you're following with Christ, like he said, as long as what you're doing is righteous, she don't have a beef with you. She got a beef with God because you're doing what Christ told you to do. Mm-hmm. You feel me? So that sort of takes away the hardships of being a leader and having to deal with all that. You know, like I said, the Bible says don't trim your ways from love. And so the reason why I'm pointing you out is because, you know, we mentioned God, got the cross on and so forth. Mm-hmm. My suggestion to you would be to rally under the Constitution of the Bible. If you go like the fall of man, we all heard about Adam and Eve and ate the fruit. What happened when God came? The man drank the woman. The first thing he said is, Adam, where are you?
Yeah.
He didn't care that the woman convinced the man, and he was like, well, I was trying to be nice to her, Lord.
He was
"God,
led
Adam,
over
where are
the
you?"
over the Garden of
Why
Eden
did he punish Adam?
because of his disobedience.
God made Adam for
He
no
gave her
punishment,
authority.
because he listened to his wife.
Yeah.
So go back and read it. Because he listened to his wife. He had given him commandments, like you suggested.
Yeah.
Like you said. And he was more concerned about trimming his ways for love than he was about fearing God and what God was going to do. And the natural response when God asked him, when he came into the garden, he said, Adam, where are you? What did he say? He said, woman you left me with. Same thing I did.
Right.
My life's all jacked up. I'm going to blame wifey. Because I don't want to stand in the count. Right? You feel me? So I'm just saying, you're on a good path, bro. I ain't trying to single you out. I'm only talking to you.
Oh, it's
I'll
good.
be the exact
I'm
same
eating
way.
it, bro.
Trust me, dog. Get that dog up out of the house, bro. If
Don't
you bid
like
on
kill
that,
it, though.
you gonna be, your back gonna be broke, is what I'm trying to tell you.
I wanna
I'm
tell
not
you-
saying be a tyrant. I'm not saying don't
we got a
listen to
hand
your
back
wife,
here.
but I'm just saying off the
You got a hand back here.
He's been trying to speak for a while.
I want to tell you what worked for me. You know what I'm saying? A lot of it has to also do with how I respond to my wife. You understand what I'm saying? Because women, when they trying to express themselves, they emotional. We physical. You understand what I'm saying? She can, you know how a plane got to circle around 50 times before it hit the airstrip. Men, we straight to the point.
Yep.
But women, they gon' gallivant until they get what they trying to say out. You know what I'm saying? So I want to speak to the king that's in you. You know what I'm saying? The Bible say you are all royalty, that you are heir of the throne, that the same resurrection power that was in Jesus lives in you. You have to see that in yourself. You understand what I'm saying? You have to know who you are and whose you are, and you got to stand on that royalty. That royalty before anything. You got to claim your throne. You understand what I'm saying? And she'll submit regardless. If she want to be in your castle, she going to submit. Trust me. Also, you kill more bees with honey. You understand what I'm saying? You can be as sweet as a candy cane to her. You understand what I'm saying? But as long as you make sure she understands that eye contact, that sweetness in your voice, like, look, baby, look, this really bothering me. You understand what I'm saying? I need you to know. You feel me? And you have to give her a solution. You feel me? Don't present a problem without a solution.
Right.
You
Because it's
understand what I'm
not
saying?
just about the dog, it's about how the decision to get to the dog came in.
Oh.
And breaking your unity. Breaking your unity. So it's not just the dog, it's how it came to that decision being made. And it's not the two of you making that decision.
Excuse me.
That's the challenge.
I came in late.
Before you go, we had the other gentleman here. Go ahead. You have raised your hand?
Yeah, I just want to add, because this is the men's huddle, but we also have a young brother in here, which I think is your son, right?
Yes, sir.
So are we talking about his mother and his aunt?
Yes.
See, now we need to establish something there so that him as a son, as a nephew, and all of that, he doesn't get into conflict with this in the way that is being presented before us. So we're going to have to consider him at the same time and how we're going to handle this, address this, so that he doesn't get any conflictual messages.
I 100% agree. I was concerned about that myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And young man, even though you're hearing what we're saying, this ain't you don't need to be in the middle of that conversation.
Oh, I know.
Okay?
Oh, I
You're
know.
observing.
But he needs an example
Yes.
from his father, so that as he rises up into manhood, and he has these situations, then he will have solutions and answers as well.
True.
But we can't have the mixture of what he should be, what he should do, and the father is not being what he is supposed to be as the man leading the family.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we got to establish your rule so that your subject, which is your son, will be able to follow in the proper way.
Because this time coming.
Because his time is coming.
That's what-
But what I would
Yes,
advise,
well, he's
one
next.
last thing, what I would advise is, don't go home and just rush into this.
Oh, no. No.
They told me in the DNC, you can do it like that. You just get it, just ease into this.
Yeah, I'm formulating a plan.
Because I know we still going, but I do want to take the time to, because the conversation that we're having affects all the other things that we're doing too, as far as not compromising. The only way to not compromise is to have a vision and an understanding of why you're not compromising,
Right.
how you're not compromising,
Yep.
and that actually will show like, oh, your wife's not an enemy.
Right.
She needs to know
Right.
what the vision is.
And
Like
that-
it's just reteaching.
that
And
was
so
a
I
lot-
think we can't do that if we don't establish that within ourselves. So I do want to just point out again, I want to be able for everybody to get that book, to be able to write out at least the one page of what your vision is, because it might not have anything to do with your relationship, but it does have to do with what type of man you are, because the type of man is going to show. I tend to see what a man truly is when he's offended.
Thank you.
And so when you see what a man truly is when they're
Yeah.
offended, to me, like I had to sit down with friends and say, what does it look like for me to be offended, and how to overcome an offense? The scriptures tell us to not be easily offended.
Thank you.
And so when it says to not be easily offended, it has implications because God is not easily offended. And you have implications on top of implications, and see throughout the scripture of how he's not easily offended, because he is long suffering, or because he's patient, or because he's whatever.
Yep.
So even then, like I said, it'll take extra time, but to establish this vision to keep all of us accountable to. Also, are you on live?
No.
Okay. Because at the beginning we said no.
Yeah.
Like this stays in
This is for my personal use.
Yeah.
Isn't that like?
I got a
Yeah,
question.
yeah, go ahead.
My question is, what's the issue? Because I came late, and I apologize for that. What's the issue about the dog?
It wasn't about the dog.
No, not really.
Oh.
But it was mainly about authority in the household, because my wife's twin, they formulated some plan years ago to do this and manipulate the man and make it seem like the man's in control, but he's really not. And so, a couple of days ago, dog came into play. Twin purchased a dog, which was actually for my wife, but she didn't make it out to give it openly
It is some
and say that.
good amount, but
But for the past couple of days, we've been babysitting. But I knew this years ago. But yeah,
Hey, Joe,
It's about
say,
authority.
too, you know, I like what one of the key points that Kevin made about don't just go do this.
Yeah.
You know, when you go, and I say this because you know, it's two things you're dealing with. You may be dealing with a single man that's in a relationship, and you're dealing with a married man that's in a relationship. You're dealing with a relationship who I know him. I know what he did. He came in building. So that way, so anybody knows that when she's dealing with a relative or anything, they know how he reacts, how he responds. So when you're coming up with something new, you got to approach it different. Meaning you got to build from the ground up, because you ain't used to being that way. Because if a person been in your life and they understand that this knowledge that you giving from these gentlemen that's giving you now, they like, where you been?
well,
Who told you? Who
no,
told-
I can say this. I did establish my authority at one time, but then she saw the soft-hearted side when I came into the ministry, and I started trying to build myself as a spiritual man instead of this dude from the hood that, all he did was take attitude and just give it out. He wouldn't, no conversation. This is my way. Either you like it or leave.
you think she misses it?
I think she does.
As a man of God, you gotta pop out.
Yeah,
That's what Jeff was saying.
she does.
I agree though, because Ray know my wife.
Yeah.
My wife,
Show him that.
I'm the same way. I came through the door with my foot down. So I understand a lot of stuff you're saying. I came through the door with my foot down. I'm not the confrontational. You know what I mean? I went to prison, so when I'm not the same person that she met when we were younger. Prison, I did 22 years, so that taught me to be more humble, to move around competition, because competition
Yeah.
leads to staying in prison alone. So now it's embedded into me to be more humble than computational, because I've been doing it so long through the prison. So now, like when I get into it with her, I hate arguing. I hate going back and forth. Like I don't have the patience for that. So basically, like he said, he built his foundation.
And then
We're
I'm not a I'm not a computational person.
When I say
No,
computational,
I'm saying like, because what I would do.
You don't
like,
avoid
Yeah, I don't
confrontation.
avoid
You
it.
don't avoid
See,
confrontation.
because I avoid
Even in my situation,
Yeah.
right?
That's fine. Yes.
I don't.
He's just saying, hey, great conversation, guys. Would love to carry on. We do need to be able to finish a few things up. But man, I appreciate you having the time, allowing me to at least introduce some of these topics. But more importantly, it matters because you chose to speak from your true life and your true experience. So I want to thank each of you, both you and James, and your name again? Christian.
Yes, sir.
For opening up and sharing of your personal experience, because that gave us all enough meat to chew into and be able to share and live and respond from that. So we really appreciate you doing that. So I actually have more to share, but I'll save that for another time. I want to thank you for hearing these thoughts, what you're saying. The things I did speak about were the 3 pillars of compatibility, and that was about shared interests, shared values, shared goals. If you have that in your relationship, you can always build on that to make it better. And the next time I speak, I'll give some tools on how you can do exactly that. So thank you so much. Glad to have y'all here tonight.
I have a vision